When Sofia Martinez, a 26-year-old single mother, walked into Madrid's most luxurious jewelry store carrying her 3-month-old baby and wearing a worn out hoodie, every customer turned to stare at her with disdain. "You want to sell this ring," she said in a trembling voice to the owner, Mateo Ruiz, pulling out the only memento she had from her grandmother. She needed money for formula. The ring was worth euros 50,000, but Sofia had no idea. What happened next shocked not only Sophia, but everyone in the store. Because sometimes behind an act of desperation lies a destiny that will forever change two lives. And because the ring Sophia was about to sell hid a secret that would shake the foundations of one of Spain's wealthiest families, Madrid Calcerano. 26-year-old Sofia Martinez walked nervously along the city's most expensive sidewalk, clutching her 3-month-old baby, Lucas, to her chest. Her gray hoodie was faded and frayed. Her sneakers were dirty. Her dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail that betrayed days of exhaustion and worry. Little Lucas cried weakly, a faint, heart-wrenching sound. She hadn't had formula for 2 days, and the baby was surviving on sugar water. Her bank account was empty. Her last paycheck from waitressing hadn't even covered rent for the tiny studio apartment on the outskirts of the city. "It's okay, my love," Sophia whispered to him, kissing his forehead. "A mommy will find a way." She stopped in front of the display window of Ruiz and Sons Jewelry, one of Madrid's most exclusive stores. Behind the bulletproof glass sparkled diamond necklaces that cost more than Sophia could earn in a lifetime. Sophia pulled a small gold ring with a tiny emerald in the center from her pocket. It was the only thing she had left from her grandmother Elena, who had died when Sophia was just 16. The ring had always seemed pretty to her, but nothing special. She had no idea the emerald was real, that the ring dated back to 1920, or that its value could have changed her life. "Forgive me, Grandma," she whispered, tears welling as she looked at the ring. "But he needs to eat." She pushed open the door and stepped inside. The contrast was immediate and stark. The interior was a temple of luxury, white marble, soft lighting, climate-controlled display cases. The few customers, elegant women with designer handbags and men in tailored suits, turned to stare at this young mother who looked so out of place. 35-year-old Mateo Ruiz, who had inherited the store from his father, was showing a pearl necklace to a client when he noticed Sophia. His first instinct was to call security. She looked like someone who had wandered in off the street, but then he saw the genuine tenderness with which she held her baby. Can I help you?" he asked, approaching cautiously. Sophia blushed, feeling the judgmental stares from the other customers. "I'm sorry. I'd like to sell this ring." She handed it over with a shaking hand. Mateo took it, expecting cheap costume jewelry, but when he held it to the light, his eyes widened.
Oh,
The emerald was real. The setting was platinum, not gold, and there was a mark engraved inside. His heart raced. That mark belonged to the prestigious Torriani Jewelry House, which had closed in the 1940s. Rings from that collection were legendary. "Mom," he said, trying to keep his voice steady, "can you tell me where this ring came from?" "It was my grandmother's. It's all I have left, but my son needs formula, and I don't have any more money." Sophia's voice broke. Lucas started crying again, and she rocked him desperately. Mateo looked at the ring, then at Sophia, then at the baby. A decision was forming in his mind, one that would change everything. He walked to his desk and picked up a professional loupe. As he examined the ring more closely, Sophia glanced around nervously, feeling more and more out of place. "How much could it be worth?" she asked weakly. Mateo looked up. The ring was worth at least euros 50,000, maybe more. It was a collector's piece, likely once owned by a noble Spanish family. But seeing Sophia, this young mother who couldn't even buy formula for her child, he realized she had no clue what a treasure she held. "Mom, excuse me, but may I ask your name?" "Be Sophia, Sophia Martinez." "Nice to meet you. I'm Mateo Ruiz." "Sophia, this ring isn't just any piece of jewelry. It has an important history." Sophia looked confused, hugging Lucas tighter. "I don't understand. It's just my grandma's ring." Can you tell me anything about your grandmother?" Sophia hesitated. Our grandma Elena was very elegant, but after the war she lost everything. She lived in a little house in a village. She always told me her family had once been important, but I thought it was just an old lady's stories. Many noble families had lost everything during the Spanish Civil War, and priceless jewels had been hidden for generations. Sophia, I need to do a proper appraisal. Please give me a few minutes. But Mateo headed to the back of the store, leaving Sophia in the showroom. The other customers kept whispering and staring, but Sophia barely noticed. All her attention was on Lucas, who had stopped crying but looked weak. In his office, Mateo consulted historical catalogs, but what he found confirmed his suspicions. The ring was part of the Imperial Emeralds collection, created by master jeweler Giuseppe Torriani in 1923 for the Count of Madrid's family. Only 12 existed in the world, and this was number 7. Mateo returned to the showroom, his heart pounding. He looked at Sophia, who was quietly singing a lullaby to calm Lucas. The scene touched him deeply. Sophia, he said gently, I have news for you. This ring is worth far more than you think. Really? Maybe yours 500? She asked, hope flickering in her eyes. A little more, Mateo said with a kind smile. Around euros 50,000. Sophia stared at him as if she'd misheard. What? Euros 50,000? Earring is an extremely rare collector's piece. Sophia sank heavily into a chair, still unable to believe it. With that money, she could buy formula for Lucas for years, pay rent, start a decent life. But Mateo wasn't finished. What he was about to say would change not just her finances, but the entire course of her life. Euros 50,000, Sophia repeated, stunned. But I only needed euros 20 for formula. Mateo smiled, moved by her innocence. Sophia, may I ask what you do for work? He was a waitress, but I lost the job when Lucas was born. The father, he left as soon as he found out I was pregnant. Now I live on benefits, but it's never enough. Mateo looked at the ring again, then at Sophia. I have a proposal for you, Chinsai. I could buy the ring for its full value, euros 50,000, but first, let me tell you a story. Sophia nodded, still in shock from the number. My father founded this jewelry store 40 years ago. It's always been a family business, and now it's my turn. But in recent years, with online competition, we've been struggling. I've been thinking about closing. Mateo sat across from her. But seeing you today gave me an idea. You have a family treasure you didn't know about. I have a store that needs new life. What if we joined forces? B. You don't understand, Sophia said, cradling Lucas. I want to offer you a partnership. You become co-owner of the store. I have the experience. You have something I've never had. What? Humanity? Heart? Watching you walk in here today, I saw what's been missing from this place. Our customers are wealthy, but their purchases often lack soul. You could bring the authenticity we've lost. Sophia looked at him like he was crazy. Mateo, I know nothing about jewelry. I'm an unemployed waitress. But you know love. You know what it means to sacrifice everything for someone. You know the true value of things. He pointed to the ring. This isn't precious because of the stones. It's precious because of the story it carries. You understand that. Sophia looked at Lucas, now asleep in her arms. And what would that involve? I'll give you the euros 50,000 for the ring, plus a share in the business. You learn the trade. I'll teach you everything. Together we turn this place into something special. The other customers had stopped whispering and were listening curiously. The conversation had taken a turn no one expected. Why? Sophia asked. Why would you do this for me? Mateo glanced toward the street where he'd seen her walking uncertainly earlier. Because today you reminded me why my father loved this work. It wasn't about money. It was about the stories each piece tells, the special moments it helps create. Tears welled in Sophia's eyes. I don't know if I'm up to it. Trust me, Mateo said, extending his hand. Oh, sometimes life puts people in our path who can change us. I think you're one of those people for me. 2 weeks later, Sophia looked at herself in the mirror of the small apartment Mateo had helped her find in central Madrid. She wore a simple but elegant dress, her hair neatly styled, and for the first time in months she felt hopeful. Lucas slept peacefully in his new crib, full and content. With the ring money, Sophia had bought everything the baby needed and hired a babysitter for work hours. Mateo was waiting outside the store with a smile. Ready for your first day, partner? Sophia smiled nervously. I don't know if I'll ever be ready, but I'll try. As she walked in, she noticed something different: a cozy corner with comfortable chairs and a table of magazines. What's that? Yay, welcoming area. I thought mothers with kids might need a place to feel comfortable. Sophia was touched. Mateo had thought of everything. And now, he said, we start with the basics. Every piece of jewelry has a story. Our job isn't just to sell, it's to help people find the right piece for their story. The first customer was an older woman looking for a gift for her granddaughter. Oh, Sophia, Mateo said. Why don't you try? Sophia approached timidly. Good morning. May I ask what kind of person your granddaughter is, was he? She's a medical student, very determined but also romantic. Sophia thought for a moment. Then maybe something that represents both strength and delicacy. She picked up a simple but elegant necklace. This has a sturdy chain, but the pendant is a flower. Resilience and beauty together. The woman smiled. A perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. After the customer left, Mateo looked at Sophia, impressed. How did you choose so quickly? I thought about what I would have wanted at her age. A gift that says you can be strong and feminine at the same time. Mateo knew he'd made the right decision. That afternoon, a young couple came in looking for wedding bands. Sophia listened to their love story and helped them choose rings that reflected their personalities. When they left, they were glowing. Tawan. That night, Mateo said, you sold more today than I used to sell in a week. Seriously, the customers trust you. They see that you really understand what they're going through. Sophia looked around the store, already starting to feel like home. Mateo, thank you for everything. And no, thank you. You've brought life to this place. But Sophia didn't yet know that her story was about to take an even more incredible turn, because her grandmother's ring still held a secret waiting to surface. A month later, the store, now renamed Ruiz and Martinez to reflect the new partnership, was thriving. Sophia had discovered a natural talent for connecting with customers, while Mateo handled the technical and expert side. One morning, as Sophia arranged the window display, an older man in elegant clothes and carrying a cane walked in. He appeared to be about 80, with white hair and eyes that had seen a lifetime. Good morning, he said in a refined voice. I am Count Alejandro Conde. I've heard you recently acquired a ring from the Toriani collection. Sophia and Mateo exchanged glances. Yes, Mateo said. I ask how you know. That emerald was part of a set that belonged to my family. I'm here to buy it back. A chill ran down Sophia's spine. Sophia's spine. Excuse me, what do you mean belonged to your family? The Count studied her closely. That emerald, along with the necklace and earrings, was given to my sister Elena as a wedding dowry in 1943. During the war, Elena fled with her family to escape persecution. We never saw them again. Sophia went pale. Elena? Elena Conde? Yes, my sister was Elena Conde. Why? Sophia sat down heavily. Because Elena Conde was my grandmother. The silence that followed was deafening. The Count stared at Sophia wide-eyed as if seeing a ghost. You're Elena's granddaughter. Yes, yes. Grandma Elena Martinez. She always said her maiden name was different, but she never told me what it was. The Count approached Sophia, tears in his eyes. And my dear, I've searched for my sister for 80 years. And you're my great niece. Sophia felt her legs give way. Mateo steadied her as she tried to process it. This means, Sophia began, that you are the rightful heir to the Conde estate, the Count said. The Count said, including lands in Andalusia, the palace in Seville, and a significant share in Conde Industries. Sophia looked at Mateo, then at the Count. But I'm just a waitress. You are a Conde, the Count said proudly. And now that I've found you, I want you to take your rightful place in the family. Mateo took Sophia's hand. Sophia, this changes everything. But Sophia looked around the store, the work she had built, the life she was creating. No, she said firmly. It doesn't change who I am. Count Alejandro stayed in the store for hours, telling Sophia the family history and about her grandmother Elena. During the war, Elena had married a young soldier named Jose Martinez. She changed her identity to escape persecution and lived hidden in a village for the rest of her life. Your grandmother was brave, the Count said. She gave up everything to protect her family, and now you've inherited that courage. Sophia held Lucas as she listened. Uncle Alejandro, she said, surprising herself with the word. I appreciate everything you're offering, but I have a life here now. My dear, we're talking millions of euros, a place in society. You could have anything you want. Sophia looked at Mateo, who was listening quietly. Mateo, what do you think? I think the choice is yours, but whatever you decide, I'll support you. Sophia stood and walked to the window, looking out at Cal Serrano. Uncle Alejandro, 2 months ago, I was a desperate mother who couldn't buy formula for her son. Today, I have a job I love, a partner who respects me, and I'm building something of my own. She turned to the Count. I'll accept my inheritance, but only on one condition. Oh, what's that? That we use part of that fortune to create something meaningful. I want to start a fund to help single mothers in need, and I want Mateo to be my partner in everything I do. The Count smiled. Alina would be proud of you. You have her generous heart. Mateo stepped closer to Sophia. Are you sure? You're giving up a completely different life. Oh no, Sophia said, taking his hand. I'm choosing the life I want, with the people I want beside me. A year later, the Elena Kundi Foundation had helped hundreds of families in need. The jewelry store had become a benchmark not just for luxury pieces, but for its ethical business philosophy. Sophia and Mateo had married in a simple but elegant ceremony, and Lucas had found a loving father in Mateo. You know, Sophia said one night as they closed the store, when I walked in here that day, I thought I was just selling a ring. And instead, Mateo asked, smiling, selling. Instead, I found a family, a future, and myself. Mateo kissed her gently. And I found the person who turned my business into a mission. Their story proved that sometimes the moments of greatest desperation can become the start of the most incredible opportunities, and that the true value of a jewel isn't in its carats or price, but in the lives it can change. Grandma Elena's ring had done far more than feed a child. It had united two souls, rebuilt a family, and created a future of hope for hundreds of people. Sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones we don't know we have. And a single act of desperation can open the door to a future we never imagined. Life always has one secret card left to play when we least expect it.